I'm gonna stub my teeth. Not look like it. Good. All right, so we're gonna go over here. Go to Rumble. Go to here and go to Last Chance Tax Planning. Let's make sure this is going. All right. Yo. Yeah, all right, sweet. Looks like we're good to go. Yo. Wait, what did it say? Santa Claus? Hey, James. Santa Claus is coming to town. All right. He sees, looks like we're good. So we're a couple minutes early. Let's see what L markets are doing. Tony, que paso? He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Whoa, we're way up today, huh? Weird. 10-year Treasury still at 3.67. I saw an article in here. Big U.S. banks are falling short on promises to create black homeowners. We've only had the CRA since, 1992, and we still have enough black homeowners? I mean, what more can we possibly do? Good night. Yeah, I mean, it just... it's, YouTube stars cash in video rights for millions of dollars. Investors are betting that old footage will be a valuable asset class. Interesting. I had to look at that myself. All right. We'll see. I saw something on home. The home market was going was negative because of the high mortgage rates, and yet the mortgage rates are down 11 to 12% from their high. So what's that about? I don't know. I did not hear the Secure Act 2.0 was attached to the spending bill. I mean, but does that mean it's now the law? I don't get it. So, that's of interest to me. Yo. Let me look that up here a little bit. Hold on a second. I got to. Phew! I got too many flipping windows open. Hold on. Woohoo! It's a chain down together and a straight down together with you. All right, so let's go to Secure Act 2.0. Is it law now? Yeah, let's take a look. All right. Hey, thank you, Tony. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you, Mike. In 2033? What? RMDs are moving to 75 in 2030. There's got to be a typo, right? Q. Now, Q humor is known to be questionable. All right, just FYI. So before you start planning, because Q humor doesn't agree with me all the time, so inherently he's questionable. He's a questionable character. So if he's saying it's 2033, I'm just goofing. I'm sure it's 2023 exactly. All right, so let's see what we got. Yeah, Secure Act included in 1.7 billion spending bill or trillion. Become law by the end of 2022 is one step closer to passage. But I thought the appropriations bill doesn't make it law. I thought that makes it just a time being. Oh boy. We are grateful to the many members of Congress who worked tirelessly to get Secure Act 2.0 and the omnibus legislation expected to be enacted this week, says the American Retirement Association CEO Brian Graff. This important legislation will enhance the retirement security of tens of millions of Americans and give them the opportunity for the first time to begin saving. It's such a freaking clown show. These guys are so full of crap, dude. Secure Act can improve retirement savings for 100 million workers. These guys are so full of crap. I'm so sick of these people. No, he said 2033. Tony said it wasn't a typo, but he said 2033. You can roll 529 plan into a Roth and a Secure Act? No way. And here's someone from CIA or TIA. It provides impactful provisions that can like if you just took the same language and moved it 10 years back, 20 years back, it's all the same thing, man. It's never enough. Never enough. It's so full of crap, dude. I cannot stand the industry that says, "Oh, this is going to strengthen the retirement savings of 100 million Americans." It's such a freaking clown show. It really ticks me off. All right, so let's see. Let's see if we have anything for 5. Just all they do is they pat each other on the back. I hate it. I'm not gonna lie, I hate it. I haven't seen anything about 529s being rolled in there. Let me just look real quick. If that's pretty cool. If you can roll your 529 to a Roth, 529 roll into Roth. Take a look. New bill would allow rollers from 529. This says to Roth IRAs. That's as of June. All right, I'm gonna have to. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm not until it's solidified and some of the people I follow have their time to put the pen to paper. I'm not doing anything yet. But if you can roll 529 to Roth, that's pretty sweet. You know, else is pretty sweet. Hi boys. Hi boys. Oh, so cute. Want to get a close up? Hi. You're on candid camera. Yeah, you guys are so cute. Yes, you are. All right. So a couple things I want to talk about. Hey, Jim Wright. Yep, right on, man. We got you on there, Jim. 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. Be there or be square. I have you tons of video ideas on that Secure Act. Yeah, 100% cute. I agree. Once that Secure Act passes, there'll be lots of, yeah, I agree. We got to see what they say. If you can roll a 529 to a Roth, that's pretty fantastic, man. That's pretty cool. I don't get, why would they do that? Well, I guess why they would do that, because you still, non-spouse beneficiaries still have to take to close out the IRA within 10 years. Does anyone know the Secure Act does it reduce? I know it increases RMDs to 75 years old, but does non-spouse beneficiaries, does it reduce the time they have to exhaust an account? Oh, Brent says it's not a typo. Holy crap. Brent says, along with somebody else and along with Cute, that it's 73 in 2023, but won't be 75 for RMDs until 2033. Okay. Guys, so 73 in 2023, 74 in 2028, and 75 in 2033. I mean, look, man, they're never going to do it. Just do a flat tax, be done with it. Or just raise standard deductions. So anyone with income less than, I don't know, freaking married filing jointly, $100,000 pays no income tax. And a single taxpayer with married filing, a single taxpayer of $50,000 raise the standard deduction, so they'd pay no income tax and be done with the whole thing, and then make it 25%. So here's what I do: if you're married filing jointly, your first $100,000 of taxable income is zero, and then anything above that's 25%. Done and done. No provisions on capital gains tax treatment. No provisions on qualified dividends. No charitable giving, because charitable giving is nothing but a freaking clown show for rich people. And that's about as close to a flat tax as you're going to get, 25% across the board, done and done. You know what I'm saying? But get rid of QDI, get rid of LTCGs, no charitable deductions, blah, blah, and blah. And no, frankly, no, I mean, they're never going to get rid of mortgage interest deduction because the homeowners lobby is too strong, but just be done with it. That's what I do. It's not like the poor aren't paying taxes. They are. They're paying 7.65 for FICA. And if they're self-employed like I am, they're paying 7.65 times 2, which is 15.3. And as such, it's not like there's poor people are getting tax-free. They're not, man. So it makes it simple, easy, but it'll never pass because a tax code is the way the politicians extract wealth from corporate lobbyists. Anyways, good news on the lobbying front, by the way. So my man Matt Stoller had written about a couple antitrust pieces that are going through now, which is pretty good. I'm happy. Pre-COVID, I thought big government was the biggest enemy. All right, and now I realize big corporations are just as bad as big government. Now, big government can put you up against the wall, Che Guevara. But big corporations, while they can't necessarily pull the trigger, they can still destroy you 100%. And so both of these need to be reined in. And as a conservative Republican, of which I've been for many years, my whole point was, oh my goodness, big government, big government, big government. Corporations, they just maximize shareholder value, according to Milton Friedman. Just not true. It's literally not true. Because you can see, why is the media? You're like, why? Like, why did Roger Ailes was the only guy with enough prescience to say, hey, there's a huge amount of people who aren't being served in the media. All right. It wasn't just because Roger Ailes was a genius. It wasn't. It's just that they allowed him to say, hey, look, let's bring these guys. Because if we fight amongst ourselves, the left and the right, whoever, the Republicans, the Democrats, so Fox News, MSNBC, let's fight, and allow the freaking tyrants to continue their fascism, which is big government and big corporations and lockstep. And that's exactly what the kind of country we have. There's no two ways around. Now, I don't want to live anyplace else. I just got a dream that I was stranded in Japan for some ungodly reason. Why would I ever go to Japan? I have no clue. But I was in Japan and I got stranded in Japan. I was calling my wife, said, yeah, they stole my luggage. That's weird, man. I don't know what that was about, but I don't want to go to Japan. It's actually ironic because I just got done watching a video. So we obliterated Japan because Pearl Harbor, huh? Oh, it's kind of weird. Japan, they bombed us in Pearl Harbor, so we firebombed the whole country, killed hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people because they bombed Pearl Harbor that we were aware of. Just throwing it out there. It's kind of weird. But anyway, the point being is, why did we make Japan have to heal? You know what I'm saying? Why? Oh, because obviously they weren't following the script that the cabal needed. That's 100% why. You know what I'm saying? Now, did China follow the script? Not ultimately, they did for sure. Once Mao was taken out. Anyway, the point being was, so now we have Fox News, we have MSNBC. We're always battling, you know what I'm saying? But it took forever to get Fox News, but they're run by Murdoch, who owns the New York Post and Wall Street Journal. These guys are big corporates, big, cheap labor, import-export economies, and these aren't populist by any stretch of the imagination. So Fox News, Hannity, they can all kiss my big fat behind, MSNBC, who cares? But what I'm saying, CNN is just, look, CNN is an unprofitable enterprise inherently. And the reason they're unprofitable is because they don't need profits, because the money is created by the cabal. And all they're doing is pushing propaganda. And once you see, you're like, oh, man, I can't believe I was such a sucker fell for all this crap for so many years. Like, oh, a corporation exists to maximize shareholder value. No, it does not. It exists to serve the cabal, man. I wish RMDs had their own tax schedule like capital gains. Why would you want more? Why? No more tax code enhancements. No, keep it simple. All right, so weird about Japan, isn't it? Weird Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Very odd there. Very odd. Did we really use an A-bomb, Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Did we really do that? Interesting. How dare I challenge the narrative? How dare I? All right, let's go. I want to show a couple things here. I want to go into this. All right, this is the first one I want to go into. Important to understand. How dare I question the United States? By the way, my uncle, Richard Deichmann, actually was the fighter pilot who took out the Japanese battleship Chickamauga. Mulga? I don't know how you pronounce it. And so before anyone sits there and say, you don't respect America, I do. I do respect the Americans. I don't respect the American government. And if you still do, I don't know what to tell you, man. After what's the hell's happening with this, I don't know why they're releasing the Twitter stuff. But if you, after JFK and the Twitter stuff all coming at the same time, if you still respect the government, I got nothing for you. I might not be the guy for you to watch. There's absolutely no respect. That doesn't mean the individuals who serve in the military, the FBI, and all this doesn't mean they're evil. Doesn't at all. U.S. Marshals kick ass. Border Patrol people kick ass. Many members of the FBI kick ass. In fact, it's very interesting. The FBI, when they do what they're supposed to be doing, let me just share this with you real quick, which I came across today. This clown right here. This is what the FBI is supposed to be doing. Woke non-binary artist caught trying to, you can see that with a 9-year-old boy. And how did they catch him? The FBI. They caught him. And this guy is a freaking ass clown. And you know, he should be, I don't believe in capital punishment, but if you're trying to drug a 9-year-old boy, allegedly, you should be put up against the wall. 100%. You know what I'm saying? But the reason I don't believe in capital punishment isn't because I don't think criminals should be executed, is because I don't trust the government to do it, because they're inept, if not outright corrupt. Anyway, the point being, that's the FBI caught this guy. How many FBI agents were at Bubba Wallace's thing? Remember Bubba Wallace with the noose? How many FBI agents went to the, didn't they send FBI agents, that clown from Duke who said, oh my goodness, they're yelling racist words at me from BYU? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Never mind the FBI agents who were going after Gretchen Whitmer, the FBI agents who were going after the January 6th. I mean, this friggin' thing's corrupt. It's corrupt. It cannot not be corrupt. It's just the nature of the beast, man. And as such, why you would trust these guys, I don't. But when they do good work, like, yes, exactly. That's what we should be doing. We should be going after freaking alleged pedos like this guy. But the problem is that the pedo movement is gaining traction. They're passing laws that makes it okay. It's freaking insanity, dude. The empire is crumbling, man, and there's nothing you can do about it. Once you start have pedos getting traction, and we have it. Do you see the new Rachel Devine, whatever her name, Devine, whatever the thing is? There's something going on there that's making it in the mainstream, you know, a sickness, and you can't stop it. So you laugh at it and you recognize our body is temporary, and you don't get mad. You just say, I don't want any part to do with this. And as such, you say, I'm just going to live my life the best I can with the tools I have. And the tools we have is, you know, understanding the tax code, living simply, and just saying, I don't want any part to do with that stuff. I still love Americans. I don't want to be anyplace else. But the government and the corporations intertwined are not serving our purpose. Will I say they're evil? Yeah, 100%. Because they're serving the beast. And the beast is pushing pedophilia. The beast is pushing all kinds of evil stuff. War. And it's just bad, dude. All right. So with that said, you know, if that bothers you, I'm not the channel for you. I don't know what to tell you, man. Will I ever send my kids to serve this? Hell no. I mean, they can do whatever they want. You think I can sit here and say, you know, you should go in the infantry like I did? Hell no. They're not serving Biden. They're not serving Trump. They're not serving Bush. They're not serving Obama. I don't care who is president. I do not want my kids serving this government, because this government is evil. And it doesn't mean Russia's better or China's better. It means governments and the corporations that the governments serve are pure evil, and I'd want to be removed. Now I'm using a corporation, Google or YouTube's Google. You know, so you use it to the best you can, extract the wealth from it as you can, and then move on with your life. And that's what we're going to talk about. All right, so let's go into this right quick, because I want to. You sound like a conspiracy theorist. I don't get how you're not now. I mean, my goodness, they're saying people who stand against the global warming narrative are conspiracy theorists now. All right. I want to talk about this ex-dividend date. All right, so we want to go to this. What is the ex-dividend date? It is the date The ex-dividend date is important because it determines whether the buyer of a stock or the owner of the stock will be entitled to receive its dividend. All right. Understand the ex-dividend date. A dividend is typically a cash payment that a company pays to a shareholder. We get all that. As companies generate it, we get all that. Okay. Understand the ex-dividend date. We need to understand the stages that happen when a company pays a dividend. The declaration date is the first of the 4 stages. We're going to declare the date in which we pay the dividend. All right. The declaration date is the date on which the company announced that it will be issuing a dividend. The date of record is when the company examines the current list of shareholders to determine who will receive the dividend. Only those who are shareholders on the record date will get the dividend. The ex-dividend date is the date that determines which of these shareholders are entitled to receive the dividend. I got to take a drink. The ex-dividend date is typically 1 day before the date of record. This is a date. All right. Shareholders who bought the stock on the ex-dividend date or after will not receive the dividend. All right. Shareholders who bought the stock on the ex-dividend date will not receive the dividend. Shareholders who own their shares at least 1 business day before the ex-dividend date will receive the dividend. So the ex-dividend date, right? You won't get it on the X date, the dividend. You will get it if you owned it before the X date. Just FYI. That's important from a tax perspective. And the payable date. That's just when you get it. All right. So now I want to go into, so remember, the ex-dividend date. We don't want to buy a dividend in a taxable account. It doesn't matter in IRA. It doesn't matter because they're all just coming out as ordinary income tax. You don't want to buy the dividend. So you don't buy a stock before it pays its dividend in a brokerage account because you're buying a taxable distribution. Don't do that. Wait until it pays and you can buy when the share price is a little bit lower. It doesn't matter. It's all factored in the same thing. But don't buy a tax. It doesn't make sense. So if you're going to buy something, wait until the ex-dividend date and then you can buy it. Don't buy it before the X date. All right, so now I want to go to Vanguard because we got this, right here. Now, most of a good amount have already paid their dividends or they've already declared, they've already had X date. So this is the Vanguard, right? Preliminary estimated year-end distributions. All right, so here's the X date. Here, and today is the 21st. So we're going to go down right here. I want to go down to Wellesley, or is it Wellington? I can't remember. Wellington. All right, so Wellesley has already had his X date. All right, so if you own Wellesley, you already got paid $12.20. All right, so that was yesterday, right? Yeah. Wellington, on the other hand, the X date is the X date, right? Yeah, is $12.28. So if you're in a brokerage account, don't buy Wellington until $12.28. I'd probably buy it at $12.29 just to let the dust settle, but be it as it may. Don't buy Wellington on before $12.28, or else you're buying the dividend. And you can see right here, that's 5.83%. That's a capital gain distribution. That's a capital gain distribution, excuse me. Yeah. So don't buy it because you'll see, and that'll probably be the similar time the dividend comes out. You're basically buying 6% of the share price of the Wellington is going to be a taxable distribution. So don't do that. Wait until after it pays. So you'd want to buy it on $12.28 or $12.29. Again, if it's an IRA or Roth, it won't matter. All right, but don't buy it before the 28th. That doesn't make sense. You'll be buying a large capital gain distribution. Here's the look at that Windsor 12.8% distributions. All right. Now, target funds haven't paid either. So you don't want to buy anything in a target fund, a taxable account, before the X date, if that makes sense. All right. You don't, because you don't want to pay. It's not much, 0.48, but why put yourself in a taxable position? Star funds, 6.5%. I mean, that's could be a pretty sizable tax that you have to pay. Now, again, a lot of these prime cap paid 7.89. It's already paid. But here's managed allocation. Some of these aren't very high. Let's see. I think I saw a couple other ones in here. You can see the healthcare. That's not much. Capital opportunity. Oh, they already paid to him. Diversified equity. Don't buy that. Anyway, the point being, I would not buy a Vanguard share until the 1228, 1229, probably at the earliest. No matter, regardless, because why buy it? Why buy the dividend? Now you're not going to buy the dividend if you buy this one right here. The dividend growth fund. But why even bother? Now, conversely, all right. So let's take a look at. We don't. If let's look at Wellesley Fund again, Wellington Fund again. Oops. Right here. All right, so Wellington is going to pay 5.83% of its NAV, net asset value, out as a capital gain. Now, let's take a look at what Wellington Fund has done this year. If memory, we go to, actually, 1 second, YTD. DWLX. Hit YTD return. And we go here. I want to share. All right. So Wellington Fund so far this year is down 14%, 13.97. So what you could do is you could sell your Wellington now. I'm not telling you to. I'm just putting it out there. Again, this is if it's outside of an IRA. And so what's happening here, not only are you going to sell it and be able to write off that 13 point, or at least have 13.97% as a long-term capital loss that you can use to offset other gains, or you can use for future against $3,000 a year income. But then you could sell it and you'd not be on the data record in which to receive the dividend and capital gains, if that makes sense. So you got to do that by year end, or also go to next year's tax return. No big deal. But if you have a brokerage account and you put $100,000 in Wellington, for instance, and now it's down to $87,000, and it's going to pay about 6% in long-term capital gain taxable to you, and you're like, man, I don't need that tax hit. On top of that, you can avoid that tax hit and sell the thing at the same time and lock those losses in for future use. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, that's something to think about there for sure, because that gives you some way to lock in some losses. And losses, they're not good, but the reason you lock in losses is to offset future gains. And ideally, the markets go up more often than they go down. Will they continue on? Yeah, I would think so, but we don't know, and we don't know. But I mean, if they do go up more than they go down, those losses that you have accumulated will offset some of that for the future. Oh, that makes sense. All right. So then we got, I want to go into this right here as well. Some end of year stuff, which was pretty interesting there too. You, we're going to the show. Giddy up. This is from Freedom Trail Financial. Don't know who these people are, but at the end of the year, dominated by inflation, hikes, interest rate hikes. Thankfully, the Internal Revenue Service has offered a new tax guide for some various things that happened in 2022. All right. The standard deduction increased in 2022. That's good news. All right. For married couples filing jointly, the standard deduction is now $25,900. For single filers, it is at $12,950. All right, cool. There is currently no limitation on itemized deductions, of course. That was eliminated by the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. This unlimited itemized deduction will expire in 2025 unless a new law is passed. And again, I think we should get rid of all itemized deductions. deductions. 100%. Charitable itemized, get rid of them because they only benefit the wealthy, because the wealthy are the only people who actually itemize their deductions. The vast majority of Americans take the standard deduction, and Republicans, if you want to win, you go to where the votes are, which is the vast majority of American people. All right, but Republicans don't want to win because Mitch McConnell is a friggin' idiot. And Kevin McCarthy, too. Mitch McConnell said, funding Ukraine war to beat the Russians is the number one priority for Republicans. I look, dude. That is what Mitch McConnell said. We are paying we just fund another $30 billion to Ukraine, of which $2 billion is going to go to help their some kind of labor. They're going to help pay their bills or something like that. I said, oh, because Americans, we don't need that money. You want to see something cute? Watch this. Look at those paws. You see those paws right there, Fetty? Oh. Can you hear him? Hear that? Oh my land, too cute. All right, so let's go back. How dare you show your dogs? I just go to a dog channel if I want to see your dogs. Yeah. Dogs kick ass. All right. There are no longer, this is pretty interesting, there are no longer any above the line charitable deductions. Remember, you can do $600 for above the line charitable deductions and $300 if you're single, $600 if you're married. Those are gone. No more above the line charitable deductions. That kind of sucks, man. Because that means if you don't itemize, you get no tax deductions for charitable giving. Thus, get rid of charitable deductions. I'm telling you, man. The vast majority of 95% of taxpayers don't itemize. They're not getting a charitable deduction. So it's cool to have an above the line charitable deduction. Just nip it in the bud once and for all. No more charitable deductions. Child tax credit reverts to 2019 levels. Eligibility for the premium tax credit remains expanded. This is a big deal for Obamacare. One tax credit expansion from 2021 that remains in effect for 2022 is the eligibility for the premium tax credits, which cover the health insurance purchased through the marketplace. The temporary change included in the American Rescue Plan eliminated the rule that said if your household income is more than 400% above the poverty line, you could not qualify for the tax credit. Without this restriction, many more people can potentially qualify. So this is a big deal. And regardless of whether you like Sniffy Joe, which I don't, but this does put more money in your pocket and less to the Ukrainians' pocket. And if you're not taking advantage of the tax credits, you're stupid. That's all there is to it. It has nothing to do with itemization or standard deductions either. There will be no additional stimulus payments. Oh, how dare they? All our stimulus money is going to Ukraine. The threshold, and this really freaking is just horrible, evil, but this is what happens. Oh, the Republicans should have, I'm freaking, look, man. The Republicans are supposed to be the anti-tax people, and they're not, dudes. They're not. They have plenty of chance to do all kinds of stuff. Did you hear about Paul Ryan? Apparently he knew that Trump was being spied on, and he didn't do anything. He didn't even tell Trump. These guys are all corrupt. Stop looking at the Republican Party as your savior. It is not. I'll vote for him, but I'm not sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, Raphael Warnock won again. I'm doing. If you're thinking like that, you're wrong. You're just wrong. This right here is wrong. The IRS has always required reporting of all taxable income, but until this year, you only need to file a 1099 if you had more than 200 goods and services transactions and it exceeded 20,000 in total transactions. But now it's only $600 with no minimum number of transactions. We went against that last year or 2 years ago. I remember the Republicans did, or not the Republicans, but the taxpayers and we blocked that because like this is nuts. Well, here it is back. It's crazy. So that sucks. But no above the line charitable deductions. Just keep that in the back of your mind. You still have the QCDs, qualified charitable distributions. So if you're over the age of RMDs, And this is one of the so be careful what you root for, man. Be careful what you root for. If you know increasing RMD's age is great, but that means you don't qualify for qualified charitable distribution. So QCDs are when you can give money to a charity of your choice. That's whatever it's 503C or whatever it's called, and you didn't have to take from an IRA. You didn't have to take that money as you didn't get a 1099 showing that income would have to flow back to your 1040, and then you take a deduction as a qualified distribution, as a charitable distribution, or as a charitable contribution, excuse me. And so a lot of people don't itemize. They give, 5,000 to the church. They'd say, okay, but they didn't itemize, so they would not be able to deduct that money from their 1040 because they weren't itemizing. So this QCDs allows you to basically say, I'm giving it straight to the charity without hitting my 1040. It's a big deal, man, but you have to be an RMD age to get that. That's a significant win for the good guys because it doesn't flow back to your 1040. But again, if RMDs are increased, there's less QCDs you can do, and that kind of sucks. But as it may, I prefer to call McConnell by his first name, Addison. I just call him the turtle. I call him Rachel Devine. Have you seen that video? They have a video, meme where they got a picture of Rachel Devine or Rachel, whatever that person that his name is, and then they show McConnell like it's like the same person. It's crazy. Anyway, so you have losses in your brokerage accounts. Should you take advantage of them? Yeah, I mean, yes, 100%. But I had a guy email me the other day, good guy, and he said, "Josh, I have these two funds. One was like Crazy or Crazy CRC. Let's see. I think it was CRAZX, if memory serves. CRAZX. It was CRAXZ. I thought I could have sworn it was like like Cray. I can't remember. It's like Cray something. Anyway, he's like, I'm down on it. He said, I'm down on it. Should I sell it? And I said, I can't tell you what to do. He's a client. I said, I can't tell you if you should, I can't say that. However, would you buy it today? The way you should always look at your investments, if you're wondering if you should liquidate, is say, would you buy that? Brad says, Dan, your glasses are sitting on top of your head. 100%, man. Would you buy it today? If the answer is no, then yeah, you should sell it, man. It's just that simple. I mean, the fund, the stock, the investment doesn't know who you are, doesn't care about you. It doesn't know what you paid for it. It knows nothing about you. So the question is, would you buy that same thing today? If the answer is no, then sell it. A lot of people make a mistake. They'll say, I'm going to wait till it comes back to even. The stock doesn't know what you bought it at. It doesn't care what you bought it at. I think that's a mistake. It's easy to say, I'm just going to wait till it gets back to even, then I'll sell it. I don't think you should do that. Unless you were going to hold it anyway. If you're going to hold it anyway, by all means. But then again, if you're in a brokerage account like Wellington, I love Wellington, my favorite fund. If people email me all the time, like this fund is better than, okay, then buy. I don't care. I like Wellington. I just do. You can't. I mean, if you want to look at other funds, I got a guy yesterday, the other day, said this fund. I was like, that's great. I don't care. I just like Wellington Wellesley. I like the firm that manages those funds, Wellington Asset Management Group. Now, could they be freaking scoundrels who voted for Sniffy Joe? Maybe. Probably. They're in Boston. They're probably nuts. Have they mandated things in people's bodies? Probably. But at the end of the day, I just like the way they run their shop. I do. Again, I had as a client a portfolio manager up there at one point, and he was exactly what I was hoping for. Not a flashy guy at all. A wealthy guy, you know what I'm saying, but a nice guy. He listened to advice, and he had, I think, 4 or 5 kids. I think he might have been Catholic. And it was a good guy, man. It's a guy that you would want running your money. And whether or not he runs Wellington or Wellesley, and now I don't know. I can't remember his name. But that was the kind of guys that they'd hire up that shop up there, and I appreciate it. I don't want flashy slick back hair. You should. I don't want any of that crap, dude. The last thing I want is some flashy guy with a three-piece suit, slick back hair. Now he's trying to grow out a beard, and he's flying his private plane. If you know what I'm saying. I got slick back hair. I'm growing a big fat beard. Now I've got my private plane taking me everywhere, and I post all kinds of thought leader stuff. As my man David Blanchett, let me see if he wrote back. I'm trying to get him. I interviewed Wade Fowle many years ago, not many, but I'm trying to get Blanchett to interview to talk about retirement spending, spending patterns in retirement. And he and I were bouncing something back and forth via LinkedIn. Let me just real quick see if he's responded back. Yeah, cool. He said he will be able to do something. I said, hey, Blanchett, I want to interview on my YouTube channel about your research on spending retirement. Let me know. I've interviewed lots of people, but got to be clear, I'm not an uncontroversial guy and don't want you to get in trouble. And Blanchett said, I'm definitely not one to shy away from controversy either. So what happened was there's a idiot who has apparently he has a pretty big following on I guess LinkedIn, like 35,000 followers or something like that. And he said Monte Carlo, if you have a 90% probability, that means a 10% probability that the plane could crash. And that's just freaking idiotic. So for anyone to say a Monte Carlo scenario is 90% probability of success means a 10% probability the plane will crash and you will die. It might be the stupidest thing ever in the history of mankind. And there's lots of stupid things in the history of mankind. Special relativity comes to mind. Anyway, or evolution comes. Actually, evolution is really that's dumber than special relativity. Evolution or the Lorentz contraction. I just can't get over that we actually think I get smaller if I'm moving in relation to you, I can get smaller. That's the Lorentz contraction. You actually get smaller in relation to the observer. I can't, just so we can disprove God. Copernicus. What did Freud say about Copernicus? I'll let you research that. These just to disprove God. It's crazy to me. How many people like what happened to people to make them so silly? So we got so if you follow Not Even Wrong blog, is Peter White from Columbia, I think. And it's I love reading it because these are smart guys. They're all believing in. I shouldn't say all. I imagine they all believe in relativity or evolution, general relativity, certainly special relativity. It's just, and you're just getting a guise of like Eddington experiment. And just like it's just weird how people fall for a spell and they can't break free of it. It's no different than this right here. It's nuts to me. And I'm sitting there thinking, why can't people think? And they go back to peer. I'm debating a guy right now, and on YouTube, what we're debating about. Oh, so yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it. I don't have a flashlight because I don't. Anyway, the long story short is this guy's proposing. Now I forgot what it was, but he proposed something. He got curb stomped, in his argument, and then he went back to peer review. I can't remember if it was climate change or what it was, but my side will never be peer review. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, long story short, and I'm just like, have you not followed the peer review insanity that everyone acknowledges now? And they don't. It's weird. It's really it's frustrating to the extent of being fun because people just don't think. They think it's peer reviewed. Thus, it might be. Did you hear about the lady from Australia? I can be very careful what I'm saying here. Let me see if I can't find it. She's the head of the Australian Medical Society, If you're not following the anonymous conservative blog, you're freaking wrong, dude. Now, I share some links to him to my wife. She goes, "Man, this guy's kind of paranoid." Yeah, he might well be, and that's okay. Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. But anyway, so Speaker Ryan knew the DOJ was spying onto Devin Nunes and his staff, and yet allowed it to happen without notifying the White House. Yeah, crazy. Hold on a second. Lindsey Graham says damage done to teens by social media is the biggest issue facing America, whereas Mitch McConnell said Ukraine was the biggest issue facing America. And he wants to license Twitter and other social media. And Lindsey Graham, you can kiss my big fat behind. Package of the New Deal to Omnibus back includes $44.9 billion to Ukraine. It gives $2.4 billion to Ukrainian refugees. All right, that's fantastic. And we got all Murkowski, Jim Inhofe, we got Richard Shelby, get all this special interest stuff. Then Zoe Lofgren earmarked $2 million in federal taxpayer dollars for the renovation and relocation of a Planned Parenthood clinic. It's going to be in Black communities or Spanish communities, brown and black, because, these people hate brown and Black people and they want them to murder their babies. Liz Cheney earmarked $5 million of pet projects. Great. Electoral Count Act has made it into the omnibus bill. Great. Former Australian Medical Association president Karen Phelps has revealed that she and her wife both suffered, I'll let you figure it out, and ongoing injuries from something that before she was pushing on people the last couple of years in Australia. I'm not going to say it because that will get me in deep doo-doo at YouTube. She's a former head of the Australian Medical Association, and she said she suffered something from something. What? And she says is greatly underreported. 50 homosexual Italian priests have published a letter denouncing the homophobia of the church and announcing they no longer want to hide. So that's great. So the church is, we got 50, and I'm willing to bet some of those guys probably hid the pedo scam that was going on for many, 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 many moons, and they did nothing. So what's that about? Were they part of it? I don't know. In Brazil in 2020, there were 235,000 deaths of cancer in Brazil. In 2022, there are about 700,000 deaths of cancer. 2020, there's 200 something thousand. 2022, there are 700. Did anything happen? I don't know. In 2021 and 2022, did anything change? Yeah. Mitch McConnell, funding Ukraine is our number one priority. That's fantastic. Good stuff. Anyway, so so here we got the standard. Is the standard right here. All right, that's the classical theory is a standard model, and then the modern models. And this is from Whitaker, Edmund Whitaker. And the point being, there's lots of different theories when it comes to physics. I like it. I don't like the math because it makes my head hurt. But I like physics because it's like a theology, philosophy. And I'm gonna say this is what I liked about economics. Economics was like philosophy and money combined in terms of how people spend it. I found that fascinating. Physics is kind of like astronomy, philosophy, and they throw their numbers in there to make them sound so smart, which I'm glad they do because they need to have some kind of math with it. But I find it fascinating actually, and I don't know why people say, "Oh, the peer review, they know." No, they don't. It's such a freaking clown show. All right. But Harry, how freaking dare you? Harry gave me $50 the other day, and now he thinks it's acceptable to be tardy. That's the wrong answer, Harry. I'm sending you $50 back, man. Here's New Hampshire Jeff. Oh, look at it. Good-looking guy there. Look at New Hampshire Jeff. Crushing. Thanks for my dialogue. I retired at 56 from a high-stress job and haven't regretted it for a second. More to life than my dude. Oh, let's say a prayer. Dude, Heavenly Father, There's more to life than money. Oh, God bless New Hampshire, Jeff, and all those people out there who are just recognizing, maybe for the first time, that financial wealth is not what you made us on this earth to do. Now, what you made us on this earth to do, I don't know for everybody, but please, good Lord, please give us the patience, the perseverance, and the desire to seek your wisdom and guidance, to sit tight and be quiet, to allow you to touch us, our soul and our hearts. Only through prayer can we hear this. If we just shut up for a few minutes and sit in silence and listen, turn off the distractions. Lord, we know the distractions are of the devil because they turn us away from you. But you are so much bigger than that. If we could just shut up for a few minutes and listen as you send the Holy Spirit to pierce our heart and show us the guidance and wisdom. And money is of the devil. We need it to live, but we don't need it to worship. Oh, we pray in Jesus' name, amen. Jeff, that makes me so happy. I'm there, dude. I'm there. I'm the biggest hypocrite there is. I like money too. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, we're watching this thing last night, Charlotte and I. And as I get older, I get more, I don't know what it is. But I'm like, it's like, it's starting to hit me more than ever. The skin, this body is temporary. None of it matters. Now, I don't want to be tortured or thrown into a Siberian freaking commie camp. I mean, I don't want to deal with pain. I don't have that kind of, I'm not Job. I don't have that kind of intestinal fortitude. But it's meaningless ultimately. For the eternal awaits. And just why we put there's an anti-Catholic movie we're watching about Ireland. It was The Wonder, I think is what it's called. It was entertaining. I mean, we enjoyed it, but it's definitely anti-Catholic. You know, the Catholics are crazy in terms of this from the 1800s. Like, they're, it's basically no different than snake oil stuff. And, there's some legitimacy to that. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, with that said, I mean, you got to pay your alms to get to heaven. Yeah, I don't think that's how Jesus, I don't think, where's that in the Bible? Anyway, long story short, but it was anti-Catholic. But the point was, this girl was under the assumption by her mom that if she died, it'd make her brother gain salvation. Now, whatever. No one knows how God works. I don't know. And you might say that's crazy. All right. But so what happened was she got essentially abducted against the mom's will because the mom wasn't being a good mom and was starving this girl to death, if that makes sense, in order to provide salvation for the son who was apparently burning in hell for whatever. So basically, mom's Catholic crazy, saying, if this girl dies, my son who's in hell will go to heaven because of the sacrifices of my daughter. All right. So what happens then is the protagonist, that was called, she abducts the daughter and takes her to England with her from Ireland. And you can see that she's basically saying, whatever your mom taught you, it was wrong about God and Christianity and Catholicism in this case. And I'm sitting there thinking, it's just a movie, I grant you, but I think this way, like non-believers think, it's like, we're going to save your life from those crazy religionists. And the problem is, regardless of your life being saved for a couple of decades, it will end. It's over. It's over before it begins. We know this for a fact, man. And I'm sitting there thinking, how many human beings have sold their souls for the idea that they'll live a better life, even though it's only temporary? You see what I'm saying? Like they fall under the Darwinism, the Richard Dawkins, the Stephen Hawkings and whatnot, the Lawrence Krauss of the world that says This is it. It's all we got. So I'm going to live the best life I can, and then that's it. And so they sell their soul for the temporal. It's crazy to me. And I just sit there and I think, and it's not and not the Occam's razor. The other thing where you're not Occam's razor. The other thing, man. You guys want to talk about the bet. The hell's the bet called? I just talked about this the other day. Yeah, I saw Franco Harris died today. 100%. I saw that. The bet. The guy says, "Man, not Pareto." Anyway, I better be. I'm going to be of faith because I'm not of faith. The risk is high and the reward is small if I don't bet on God. Whatever that guy. I can't remember the name. You know what I'm talking about. The freaking. God, I can't believe I can't. I just literally I forget this all the time. I always. Anyway, long story short, the bet is that I'm going to be of faith because if not, I'll lose. I could be in torturous hell for all creation. Well, that's not a good bet to make because how do you know your God's the right God? I don't know that. I don't know, but I just know at the end of the day, it's we are all going to die. Is temporal. Into how do you quantify your consciousness? And you can't. And as such, it's like why once you find the level of satisfaction in your own thinking and prayers and research that the eternal is out there, you might be like my man New Hampshire Jeff says, I don't need as much money as I thought. I can live without what I thought I needed. And as such, it gives you the peace of mind that says, I can do this. And if you can do it and you start to break free from all that was holding you back before, what does that go into the future? It says, oh man, I might be able to do other things that I didn't think I could do before. Other things that are meaningful to me, meaningful in my walk of my journey. I don't know. I just think it's great. Yeah, Franco Harris, dude, man. It's weird how he never got that much accolades. I know it's the 70s and stuff, but you hear about Emmett Smith, Barry Sanders, and whatnot, but you don't hear about Franco and that freaking immaculate reception. I mean, he picked up off the ground. We all know that. We all know that he picked up off the ground. I mean, it's without question. However, you got to admit, the last play of the I think that was an AFC championship, wasn't it? The last play. All they have to do, Jack Tatum, Frenchie Fuqua, all they have to do is make a tackle, and it's done. The Raiders go on the Super Bowl and are the dynasty of the 1970s. Franco Harris picks him off the ground. It hit the tarp. We know that. I mean, come on, silly. We all know it hit the tarp. Picks up off the ground and runs it. Yeah, third time behind Walter Payton and Jim Brown, right? Yeah, Jim Brown, Walter Payton. That's yep. The Raiders. That's still to this day. And I was 2 years old. I didn't watch the game, but having been a huge Raiders fan, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, just watching that highlight, it hurt me. Yeah, sad that Franco's only 72 years old, man. I mean, what? Wasn't the problem with football back then? Football of the 70s was the best, other than those ugly freaking AstroTurf. I mean, just look at the fields of Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, the Patriots played on, just ugly. Oh, horrible. I still like the Colts, Baltimore Colts played on grass. Denver played on grass. The teams in California all played on grass. Teams in Florida all played on grass. Wait, no, I think Miami had turf for a while, didn't they? When they're in the old stadium, I think Miami Dolphins had turf. Because wasn't there a Super Bowl in Miami? It was on turf, I remember. It was just horrible. So the Browns played on grass. Like, why did the Browns play on grass, but the Bengals didn't? You know what I'm saying? Why did the Colts play on grass? The Redskins played on grass. The Jets, when they're in Shea Stadium, then they went over to, New York, New Jersey. They played on. It's like, why? Disgusting. If he picked it up off the ground, why is it the greatest NFL play? Because they pretend like he did pick it up off the ground. I don't. I think. You sure about that, Harry? I could have sworn there's Miami had AstroTurf at one point. The Dolphins. Yeah, I might be wrong there. Yeah, in the Orange Bowl. That's what I was kind of thinking. Yeah. Hey, you change your picture, Dwayne? All right. I No, he picked up off the ground. Come on. We know he picked off the ground. I mean, it's obvious. Only homie gamers would say he didn't pick it up off the ground. It sounds like my cheating Patriots. I don't know, Harry. I don't know. My man Dwayne played for Georgia Tech, Harry. You're going to challenge him so he knows. I could have sworn there's turf in the Orange Bowl. No, if you look at the end zone view of the play, no, you can't because you can't see the tip of the ball. You see right off the toes, but you don't see the actual ground. Come on, we know he hit it. Come on, man. Everybody knows unless they're Steeler homies, fanboys, that he picked up off the ground. I mean, basically, it was like literally laying on the ground. He just walked by and scooped it up, like it's literally on the ground, like a freaking just floating. It was just like sitting there. And Franco Harris just happened to run up to us. Oh, here it is, like an Easter egg hunt. Just yanked it up off the ground. And the rest, because they were paid off by Chuck Noll, they said, "Yeah, we're gonna allow this to go." For now. With that said, instead of going after and try to hammer Frenchie Fuqua, I don't think it was Jack Tatum who put that hit on him. Maybe it was, but I don't think it was. It was Cliff Harris was with the Cowboys. Who was the other guy? Jack Tatum and the other guy who returned that interception for a touchdown against the Vikings in the 1976 Super Bowl. I'm drawing a blank what that guy's name was. Pauly Turf. I'm assuming that's turf, right? I mean, AstroTurf. Was it Tatum? It was the other guy. Who was the other defensive back for the Raiders who returned the touchdown in the Super Bowl? Again, I could see his face against the Vikings. It was I can't remember. Jack Tatum, Daryl Stingley. I was watching some highlights. Did y'all? There's this. Actually, let me show this guy's channel is cool, man. If you like this guy actually. Ooh, how the principle at maturity myth could cost you. I'm going to do that a video here later on, but from Vanguard. Actually, let me bring up this guy's YouTube channel. It's freaking awesome. If you like Willie Brown, that's it. Yep, Willie Brown. Yep, Willie Brown. That was it. Exactly right. So, are you a Ravens fan? M&T, because that's M&T Bank. You hear Mike Tomlin? We was talking about Franco Harris. He said I was 9 months old. I was at that game, the Immaculate Reception. He goes. Everyone I talked to says they're all at that game. It was actually pretty funny because it's kind of like I was there at Woodstock, or I was there. Yeah, there we go. So Harry, old time Steeler fan. Yeah, so Franco Harris picked up off the ground. I mean, you know that, right? Come on. I still think the best pass I ever saw in my life was Drew Bledsoe when he came off the bench. Remember, so Bledsoe is the AFC Championship in Pittsburgh. All right, so Bledsoe was now demoted because he got hit by what's the name from the Jets and basically killed himself. But anyway, so Tom Brady gets hurt in the AFC Championship game. Bledsoe comes off the bench. I will never forget this pass. It was a huge deal. It turns out in the dynasty of the Patriots. It was like a 3rd and 8 or something. I can't remember what it was, but it's a big play in the AFC Championship. And Bledsoe puts it. I just like over the linebacker. I forgot who it was for the linebacker for the Steelers. And into, I want to say it's Troy Brown to convert. I mean, it was such a magical pass. I was like, how do these guys do that? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he just had come off. It was like 3rd and 8 or something, maybe 3rd and 3, but it was on the sidelines. I think it was Troy Brown. I can't remember. But either way, it was like, it had to be like perfect, because you could not see the receiver in the line of sight from Bledsoe. And I'm sure this happens all the time. I've seen some passes that Patrick Mahomes throws. You're like, damn. There's another guy for this. It was a black guy who threw this. Who just like last year too. I was throwing Liam, one of my kids. I was like, man, look at that pass. Who was that? I forgot. Was it Lamar? I think it might have been Lamar. I was like, damn. Anyway, point being, he just touched it long enough to get over the, and he couldn't. It was fun. It was fun to watch. I like football. Shoot me, I don't care. But I hate turf. I wish they'd go to real grass because this crap they got now is still breaking people's knees. Who just got hurt? The guy from the freaking Cardinals, Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? It's not good, man. You gotta have the grass, and it costs, well, let's say $20,000 to replace a field. Well, hell's bells. How much you guys are getting? All the owners are getting freaking rich off the taxpayer anyway. So give me a break. Anyway, I gotta show you this guy's channel. You should subscribe to it. He's a Jaguar fan. I'm not gonna. It's a weird. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to remember. Only because you gotta watch. If you guys like older football, Jaguar 13 or something like that. Yeah, 1 second. Let me go to my subscriptions. Oops, right there. I think it's like JGE something. Let me go to my subscriptions. Hold on, everybody. How dare you, Josh? We're here to learn about taxes. How dare you do something else? Grid. There we go. So we're gonna, oh man, that's not. Go to. How do I do this? I don't want to see all that. I thought you could do it. All right, I'm gonna go to my phone. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna go to my phone. It's yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Steelers, man, I hate the Steelers. Always have hated the Steelers. Always will hate the Steelers. It's just a fact. Just a fact. Steelers, because I've always been a Patriots and Raiders fan. I don't so much like the Raiders that much. I mean, I don't really care that much anymore, but so I'm gonna find this channel. Right there. Official Jaguar Gator. So I guess he went to University of Florida as well. So let's look at Jaguar Gator. Official Jaguar Gator 9. There we go. Cool. Yeah, this guy's channel is fantastic. So we're gonna show you right here. Oh yeah. The greatest mistake in Kansas City Chiefs history. Just did this 4 hours ago. The dumbest play in New England Patriots history. Yes, this was the one just last week. What was he doing? Jacoby, what were you doing? The worst announcer in NFL history, Mike Goldberg. Is that? I forgot the other guy's name. The craziest broadcasting controversy in New England Patriot history. He's not just Patriot guy. He does all kinds of stuff. Anyway, this is his channel. It's cool. It's fun. I very much enjoy this. Clock management, Cardinals and Colts. That'd be also Andy Reid when he's with the Eagles against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Remember that? Dumb decisions. Look at that turf. Oh, good night. Look, the Bills, just so bad. Why did they do that? This rule made just how he had 17 sacks in a game. Who the hell was that? Mean Joe Green? No. Willie Lanier. Only thing I could. Tom Landry threw us. Oh man. Anyway, good stuff. All right, my friends. John Hannah, maybe the best player ever. He went to University of Georgia, if memory serves. Didn't John Hannah? Steve Nelson, John Hannah, Russ Francis, Stanley Morgan, Daryl Stingray, no, Daryl, the guy who Jack Tatum crippled, Singletary, no, Singleton, I'm getting old. The old Patriots, they need to go back to the freaking path of Patriots. As long as they got the flying Elvis, they can kiss my big fat behind. Oh, Stingley, yeah. Jeez, I'm just. 4 Super Bowl titles in 6 years. The Patriots had How many Super Bowls did the Patriots win over 20? And then they lost 3-2. All right. So we know that the best team ever in football was absolutely the 2011 Patriots. I was listening to one of those guys talk about. He said that maybe it's Tom Brady. I don't think it's Tom Brady, but it's a guy on the Pats. He said, "No, we were the best team. The 2011 Pats are even better than the 2008 Pats." Hey, my wife's stepbrother played for the Pats in the late 80s. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, Stingley. Daryl Stingley. Yeah, Mike Singletary is the guy from who I love, by the way, is a middle linebacker for the Bears in the '86. That's cool. Harry, the Pats, man. I hope he has a Pat the Patriot tattoo. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, my favorite teams ever is playing the Cowboys. The Jags are getting good, Harry. They're making a playoff run. The Patriots beat the Patriots beat they would have beaten the Raiders, they'd be in the hunt, and they're still kind of in it, but probably this Marv Cook. Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell. Was he a tight end? I don't know if I got Marv as a tight end on my head. Would it be cool if the Lions, I'm rooting for the Lions to go to the playoffs. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that's what I said. Tight end. Look at that, man. Ooh, Dwayne says the WFL came to exist to break up Zonka, Kick, and Warfield. How dare you, Dwayne? And then a couple years later, Trumpster destroyed the USFL. I'm still pissed at Trump for saying that, for destroying the USFL. Oh, but they won. No, they destroyed it, man. Love the USFL. I love the USFL. It's like, I'd love to get little USFL, those little plastic football helmets you can get. Oh, man. St. Louis, the San Antonio Gunslingers, remember them? Oh, that was probably the stupidest thing in football I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of stupid things in football. I was watching a game the other day with Liam. I was like, I cannot believe they threw in the flat with like 12 seconds. They were able, I can't remember who it was, but they were able to get the field goal off. But I could not believe, I was like, there's like 12 seconds left at the end of the first half. I can't remember I just remember this, and they had no timeouts. I'm drawing a blank who that team was. But anyway, he throws in the flat, and the running back gets tackled right there. I was like, why would you? They got 3 yards. And that was it. They were able to get the field goal off, but man, I was like, what are you doing, man? The coaches, Bill Belichick's play calling sucks. I don't know if he's the offensive coordinator. I know he's not the offensive coordinator. I don't know if he calls the plays, but I'm sorry. The Patriots have always been horrendous when it comes to the play calling. I don't care what anybody says. The fact that they had touchdown Tommy, he's able to put the ball where it needs to be, and receivers could catch. Oh, Bill Belichick, way overrated. USL change come for football players. League minimums are 10 times average salary. Yeah. I love the USFL. All right. I hear my wife yapping. I think I got to take these dogs for a walk. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all being here. Just make sure you do your tax planning. And, how dare we talk about tax planning? Oh. So they won 6 by cheating, but they lost 3 by not cheating. Is that how it works? Because Asante Samuel dropped that interception against Eli. He had it right in his hands, and if he would have just made the interception, the Patriots go 19-0, the greatest team in the history of all sports. No, they didn't. They weren't cheating. Then Mario Manningham going down the sideline. Yeah, no, they were just not cheating. I'm goofing on you, Brian, but I'm still. And Merry Christmas all. To this day. Oh yeah, but the Bears. I mean, no one expected the Patriots with Tony Eason to beat the Bears. I didn't expect them, even though they got off to a 3-0 lead. And Stanley Morgan, I always blame Stanley Morgan for dropping that pass over the middle at the Bears 20. Turns out it wasn't Stanley Morgan. I think it's Fensick got his finger on the ball, and Stanley Morgan should have still caught it, but it wasn't a drop pass. Oh, hey Jimmy, I haven't seen you around for a while. It was. Did you see the Banning cast? We were talking to. Um, so it's Eli, the guy from I can't stand this guy, Bill Swanson, or whatever, Bill Salmon. Actually, I don't like that guy at all, frankly. But it was funny because he's a Pats homeboy, and he was talking to Eli. It was kind of funny, but so Bill Sam is on there saying about a quarterback. It's like, oh, talk about Mac Jones, talking smack on Mac Jones. I'm like, dude. He's like, yeah. Why didn't Mac Jones step up? Why didn't I'm like, you got two Hall of Fame quarterbacks. They're not critiquing Mac Jones, and you're just some schmuck who happened to sell his soul for the devil of ESPN. And now you're gonna freaking comment on what Mac Jones is doing or should be doing, you freaking clown. Eli and Peyton weren't commenting on it. And I was like, Bill Salmon kissed my big fat behind. But it was kind of funny hearing him talk to Eli about Eli because at least Bill Salmon remembered Mario Manningham going up the sideline and the second time they played the Giants. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that game like it was yesterday. Only one loss, but they I remember the Bears went to Miami. They were 12-0 if memory serves, and they lost. And they went 18-1 overall. I remember that. Because I was a huge, I loved Walter Payton. So back in the that so basically it's tough for me to go against the Bears, but I had to go for the Patriots because I was born and raised in Maine, dude. You gotta be a Patriots. And that was the same year the Red Sox lost to the Mets. So the Pats lost, the Red Sox lost. I didn't care about the Celtics, and I forgot what the Bruins were doing. But see, this is what pisses me off. Right here, it just pisses me off. If freaking Asante Samuel makes that interception, this debate is over. The Patriots, by far and away, are the best team ever in the history of mankind. All we had to do was make the interception or freaking tackle Eli. I was watching the thing on the high. I had forgotten though the Patriots had the ball with time left. With a good amount of time left too to go down. I think I think they're down by 4. I can't remember. Maybe it's just a field goal. It's weird. Why do I care so much? I shouldn't. You should. We shouldn't, but yet we do. Weird. All right. God bless. Merry Christmas. We'll see you guys on Sunday, live and in person, 8 p.m. Eastern. Gotta go.